Hello everyone, my name is Nikki Yao. I'm here to talk about Chinese New Year and also known as Spring Festival. So this year is the year of the ox and it was on Friday the 12th of February and we celebrate it as new lunar year according to our Chinese lunar calendar. So that's why it always begin at springtime. How does the Spring Festival get its name? So back in 1929 was held according to the traditional lunar solar calendar, and when the People Republic of China was established 1949, and Mao decided that to keep um, the um, the calendar, the Western calendar. Um, so they changed the name to Spring Festival. So, but everybody will still call it Chinese New Year, the lunar Chinese New Year. But in China, most people will call it Spring Festival. And then there's another, about 4,000 years ago, there's another name. It's actually called Farmer's Calendar. So if you look at the photo, it actually does make sense. Around springtime, we get lots of rain, and then you have the animals start waking up, and then you start seeding and everything. So if you look at um, the picture carefully, it does make sense when they call it farming calendar. So Chinese New Year celebration is start more or less like a few weeks before because there's a lot of preparation. And first, you have to clean your house on the 28th December. That's what we call it in Chinese calendar. We will clean our house top to bottom. And also, mommy, granny will go and do shopping. It's a bit like Christmas, where you have to get everything, ready for Chinese New Year. And also, after the cleaning, we will put the decoration up. And as you can see in the next slide, this slide, you can see the decoration. Even the shopping mall will be so beautiful the way they decorate the place. You can see all the flowers which represent Chinese New Year. And then you have the instead of cherry blossom, we have plum blossom. So it's one of those things most people will like to put it in their house, especially if they want some love life in their life. They will put it in their house, so it will bring love life into their love life. And but whatever you do, don't put artificial flower because they say if you put fake flower, you get fake love, so it won't last. Okay. So we have seven lucky food we must eat during Chinese New Year. And on New Year's Eve, we always, for Cantonese people, we always have a massive big dinner where you have chicken, fish and must dish because in Chinese we have 年年有余. That means we always have surplus of money left every year. So I think everybody like that. And I'm up in China, in Beijing or in Shanghai. They will eat a lot of dumplings, especially on New Year's Eve, where the family gather around. That would be like a Christmas dinner where you invite everybody come to your house to have the dinner. And if you know anybody by themselves, you would ask them to join you because it's a bit like Christmas. You don't want anybody left by themselves on such a big celebration date. So so then you have spring roll, means wealth as well, and then you have this sweet rice dumpling ball, which is like this sort of like family get together, and then we have this small cinnamon clementines orange, which is means good fortune fruit. So that always a must. And we always like to have that tiny leaf on the end so it looks nice for decoration. And then you have noodle for long life. So, and then you have this sticky rice cake which you steam and then you will pan fry. And I remember when I was little, my granny always make them every single time when guests come to our house to visit, and she seemed to be never ending cooking that for everybody. So, and most important, Chinese New Year, married couple have to give lacy out. And it can come with different color, and if you can see in the PowerPoint, there's loads of different designs. And with once you're married, you have to give the red envelope, and only children and single people receive them. So I loved it when I was little. I just run around and all the married couple I know and say 恭喜發財 means good fortune, and then I will say 利是到來, which means give me my red lacy now. It's a bit cheeky, but people give a laugh because it's New Year time, you know. And I'm afraid that if you divorce, but you was married before, so you can't get away, but you will give one envelope, red envelope. But if you're a couple, then you give two red envelope, okay? And there is things you can do and things you can't do, because Chinese people are very superstitious, especially around Chinese New Year. For example, on the New Year Day, we won't have porridge, like Chinese running rice, we call it porridge. And because in the olden day, we think that it's only when you don't have money, you have to make running rice to keep yourself full. And you can't wash your hair. If you wash your hair, you're in trouble. Your mommy and your granny will scold you and give you a hard time. And then you can't use needles, and you can't say anything bad luck. You can't say dead. I remember when I was little and I said something like, oh, I'm going to die. And my granny will say, no, say again, say something else. So you have to be really careful. And you can't wash your clothes that day. And literally you can't have a shower you can have a shower after you pass midnight, but before midnight you can't have a shower too, or a bath. And then no sweeping, because it's a New Year Day. Remember when I said when we did the cleaning a few days ago, we get rid of all the bad spirit, all the bad vibes, all the bad look from the house. So on New Year's Day, it should be all the good vibes and all the good looks should be in the Chinese New Year. So that's why we can't sweep that day. And during the next 15 days of Chinese New Year, you just have to be careful not to borrow money from anybody, because they say if you borrow money from people, then that year you're not going to be very good with your finance. And so don't cry. Don't use scissors, to try not to cut yourself, and don't break bowls or plates. But Chinese people got a saying. I remember one time when my granny dropped a bowl on the floor, and somebody will say, 落地開花富貴榮華, which means drop it on the floor, it break, but it will bring you wealth. So my granny will go, good one. So and you try not to because in the olden day when you cook a chicken, you literally have to kill it yourself. So they will say try not to do any of that around New Year time, and don't wear black clothes, because Chinese people lucky color are red and gold for Chinese time and wedding time. And always keep even money. And also on lacy, we always put even number in the lacy, okay? We only put odd number in a white envelope when I when we go to a funeral. So it's really important we don't put odd number in a red envelope. So Lacey, no odd numbers. And even if you're a little bit ill, your parent will say to you, take some medication. We're not going to the doctors or the hospital, because same thing, if you keep going to doctors or hospital during that 15 days, then your health is not going to be good that year. Very superstitious. And as you can see, you cannot do without the lion dance and the dragon dance. So this is a little puppet for the children to play. So it is one of the best things you can have really around Chinese time, and you can run around and show off to your friends, because not everybody can have one of these, you see. So you feel really privileged to have one of these. So, and then there's a legend in the olden time which called Lin Sao in Cantonese. And what happened was that this Lin Sao always come at New Year's time. So all the village people are scared of it. And an old beggar ended up coming into the village and found it surprising why it's so quiet and where is everybody gone? It's Chinese New Year, people should be celebrating. And then he heard an old lady crying, and he went to the old lady and asked what's the matter. He says, so she explained what happening every year, and the old man said, oh, do you have some food? Can I have some food? So the old lady was very kind, offered him some food, and then the old man was saying, you should try to put some red label on the front of your door to sideways, and then have some fire lit up, and then make some loud noises, or using drum to make loud noises. So all the village people did that. And then when the Lin Sao came next day, he was scared seeing the red color, and then someone used the firework and it made him jump, and then he saw the fire. Literally, he was so scared he ran away. Next day they did the same thing. So the Lin Sao was so scared he never came back again. So ever since then, everybody can have a new happy Chinese New Year and Spring Festival. This is the 12 different animals we have for our represent each year. Once you finish on the 12th, you can go back on the 1st, which is the rat. So the rat is in the middle, the first one. And what happened is that Chinese lady doesn't tell people their sign, because they can roughly guess what age you are, because it comes around every 12 years. For example, this year is the year of the ox. So either you were just born, or you are 12, or you're 24, or you're 36. So if you don't want anybody to know your age, don't say anything. Okay? So how does that 12th animal come along? So long time ago, there's this great race which the emperor, Emperor, want to measure time, and he decided to gather all the animal who wanted to take the challenge. What they have to do is that what they do is, from this side of the river, they have to go across. Whoever land on the other side of the bank then is the winner. And so the race starts. So the cow was, cow's really strong and a good swimmer, and the rat and the cat couldn't really swim, so they asked the ox, is it okay we jump on your back? And the ox said, yeah, come along, no problem. And so the other animals stopped making their ways going over. And to be honest, I thought the dragon would have won, because we all know dragon can fly. All he had to do just jump over and they would be. But somehow he was too busy talking to the emperor. So the ox lady reached the other side of the bank, and the ox go, great, I'm going to be the winner. And then the rat jumped and landed on the other side first, a lot of people will say, oh, that's so unfair, he's cheating. But at the end of the day, the emperor never made any rules. All he said is whoever lands on the other side first is the winner. So the rat is first, then the ox, then the tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, or the sheep, the monkey, rooster, dog, and the piggy. And then you thought, what happened to the cat then? So what happened was the rat pushed the cat into the river so he can jump off first. And that's why cat doesn't like rat. Does that make sense? So on our 15th day of Chinese New Year, the last day of Chinese New Year, is Lantern Festival or Chinese Valentine's Day. Because in the olden time, Chinese lady, well, in the middle upper class ladies, that's the only time they're allowed to come out and look at the lantern. And that's when the time where all the gentlemen will look at the ladies and see which one they like, and then they will go to find the middle person we call Mo Yan Po, and to approach to family and ask for the hand of marriage. Yeah, olden time, that's how it happened. You don't get courting. So if the parents think you are a good match to the daughter, then they will say yes, you know. So that's why they have beautiful lantern, and sometimes they have poems on the lantern. And then somebody in the olden days, if they're clever, they can do another poem to match together. And that's when you attract ladies, think, he's really intelligent, you know, I like him. So that's how we call Valentine's Day as well. So basically, Sai Pak, I am a volunteer for Sai Pak, and Sai Pak is opened in 1999 in the Northwest. So Sai Pak means Northwest. Roughly, at the moment, I would say it's about 14,000 people in Northern Ireland, but we will know a bit better once the census finish, because 10 years ago it's about 16,000. So I just dropped another 2 because I know a lot of people left during that time. So roughly about 14,000. And just like to let you know, Sai Pak is a non-profit organization. So thank you for asking us to come and talk about the Chinese New Year. Thank you very much.